Hey guys, we wanted to give a shout out to some of the people we have met while recording the Nashville Dads podcast. On this episode, we wanted to highlight Brandon with Nashville Restaurant Radio. If you are interested in the Nashville food scene, this is the podcast for you. Brandon has some of the most influential people in the Nashville restaurant community on his show. So check it out. Follow them on Instagram at Nashville Restaurant Radio. Welcome to another episode of the Nashville Dads. This week, we have on Carter Hamric of Big Old Day Studios. We talk about how he adopted his son, what inspired him to write children's books, and what the experience has been like. We hope you enjoy.
Is breakfast like your thing?
No.
To cook?
I prefer big dinners is my favorite thing to cook.
Ah.
Yeah. Like if you came over to my house for dinner and your family, that would be the thing where I'm like, I have to do something to try to be impressive.
On a, what is your weapon of choice?
Oh, I'll do whatever I feel like in the moment will make me feel the most special.
What's your favorite?
I mean, if I want to do something really special, I would probably do like homemade pasta with like homemade sauces. And that would be
that's next level.
That would be my starting point, probably.
Like literally making noodles.
Yeah,
wow.
I have a pasta press. Yeah, they're really
I
fun.
won't,
You do
I won't
it's Play-Doh.
make the noodles.
Oh, yeah.
But I will. My signature is the baked cavatelli.
Yeah,
and,
you've told me about this.
And
yeah,
when you guys were supposed to come over, but I think sickness got involved.
So every parent hangout.
Classic.
Yes. I was going to make that for you guys.
Oh, that's
but
nice of you.
Cavatelli is really hard to find here in Nashville, though.
I don't even know what that is.
Is it a type of noodle?
It's a type of I guess noodle / pasta, whatever.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a little bit denser.
Okay.
And then it's got Italian sausage, like for the actual baked part. Italian sausage. Sometimes I'll put in some like cut up peppers, and then salt, pepper, a little oregano. It's wonderful.
It's awesome.
But I probably couldn't make you pasta because I've tried to make gluten-free pasta before, and it is very difficult. Like brown rice flour is very different.
Yeah.
You gluten free?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not. I've tried to do it before because I was like, I wonder if I could do this, and it's just like texture's different. Trying to roll it through like the roller, it gets stuck. It's really sticky, and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing all of this wrong. So I don't know I'm doing this anymore.
We do pasta all the time, but we do the like chickpea pasta,
stuff,
which again, it's like, hey, you want spaghetti? Because really, it's chickpeas.
There's some things when you go to make them at home, and you're like, so this was $3 at Kroger, or 2 hours of frustration.
Oh yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
Do that instead.
We choose the $3 at Kroger most nights.
Yeah, that's fair. How many kids do you have?
We have 2 kids.
Cool. How old are they?
We have a 7-year-old boy, Ellis.
Yeah.
And then a 6-year-old girl, Essie.
Cute.
Oh, nice.
Essie Tate. So yeah, they're 7 and 6. They're 16 months apart.
Oh man,
which is wild.
That is wild.
But that's how the Lord worked it out. We adopted Ellis, and like knew we wanted to adopt first. We adopted for the first round, and it was amazing. And then Lindsay, like, surprise, got pregnant. Yeah. I mean, we know how it works.
Yes.
But
surprise to you guys.
Surprise to us guys. And so, yeah, they're 16 months apart. So first few years were
exhausting.
A blur.
Yes. My 2 oldest are 23 months apart. And if you're like, your second child, what was her first year of life like? And I'm like, I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
At all.
I know.
She's still alive.
That's right.
That's all I know.
Amen.
I think you might be our first guest who's adopted a kid.
Oh,
Can you
nice.
tell us like what made you want to adopt, if I can ask that?
Yeah. It was something that was always on Lindsay's heart to pursue. And so then once we got married and kind of got our feet under us we were married 4 or 5 years before starting that process. We like almost got pregnant and or like thought she was pregnant, and we're both like, oh, like I know we had talked about like adopting first, like, but now if you're pregnant, and I just had in my head like I felt like if a baby showed up on our front door, we could figure it out. But like if Lindsay got pregnant, I was going to be like worried about her for 9 months or whatever.
I gotcha.
So anyways, we decided, okay, when we realized she wasn't pregnant, we're like, okay, let's put that on the shelf. Like, let's go
Sure.
do this adoption thing. And it was just one of those things that once we started, it went really fast.
Okay.
And we started the home study, or we finished the home study we started it in January, finished it in March, and then had a couple like failed matches, but then got matched in April, and we were like in the middle of selling our house in Creve Hall.
Oh man.
And got a phone call that was like, "Hey, you're matched, and it's a little boy, and he's due in a week."
Oh.
And it was like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh man, they don't give you that much time.
it was nuts. And then a week later, a phone call that he was being born, and we booked it down to Georgia, and so he was born in Georgia, and has an amazing birth mother who we still have a great relationship with, and are really thankful for that. And I mean, it's
Cool.
been an amazing thing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
To the point where it was like, then when she got pregnant, I think a lot of times people, because the norm maybe is to have biological kids first.
Yeah.
And then there can be this fear with your adopted, or like if, hey, we might want to adopt, there's just like, oh, like, am I going to love them the same? Which sounds terrible to say out loud, but like you have that kind of like,
Yeah, of course.
you know,
Yeah,
we've had people say that. But the interesting, I felt the same way about our biological daughter that like we were going to have. I was like, oh gosh, like, am I going to love her the same? That like I have so much love for Ellis, who's not technically our blood.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more just like a birth order type thing and getting used to
Interesting.
being a dad than it is how they come.
Yep. I think having kids is like, to some extent, what scares you about having them is like realizing how much more love you have within you, and that can be a little scary sometimes.
Totally.
It's like, oh, I really love this thing. Oh, I've never admitted that to myself before.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And
that's
then that
really cool.
sense of fear just comes over you of, oh, I don't want anything to happen to this little one.
Fear and wanting to protect are very like weirdly intermixed.
Yep.
Whenever you're a father.
For sure. Yeah.
You had talked about failed matches. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so like in the adoption process, you obviously like are vetted through an agency. You do a lot of work, a lot of learning around, you know, interracial families and mixed race families and adoption trauma, like for the children, and how to deal with that and connection, all these things. And then for us, it was like you make a book of like, hey, here's Carter and Lindsay, here's what we're about, here's some pictures, here's our dog, you know, that sort of thing. And then the agency is showing that to birth mothers, birth parents that they're working with to help make adoption plans. So the birth mother is the one typically that, you know, the counselor will say like, hey, here's 2 or 3 new families that we're working with now. And so she's looking through it and kind of seeing which one speaks to her, like, maybe I'll talk to this family, or like, yes, that's them. You know, like I can feel it, I can sense it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I use the right term for like failed match. We had a couple opportunities that, because it can go either way. They may call and say like, hey, we have a situation. Here's the situation. And it may not be something that you feel like is the right thing for you as like the adoptive parents.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whether that's you know, some sort of just special need or special situation that you feel like you just don't have capacity for.
Okay.
So where that wouldn't work out, or sometimes what happens is birth parents say like, hey, yeah, this is it. But then as you get closer, or sometimes even once the baby's born, the birth parent decides to keep the baby.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so I think that's where like the term failed match
Gotcha.
happens. And that didn't actually happen to us, so I'll probably misuse that, but that does happen.
Yeah.
Or the fit isn't there. Failed is a very negative
Yeah,
connotation word, but
Totally.
fit wasn't. Yeah, I don't know what the correct word is, but I also understand not wanting to say failed because of the negative connotation that comes with it.
Yeah, totally. Because also like that is the best situation, right?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
for them to stay together.
Correct.
But it can be really hard for
Yeah.
parents that are trying to adopt, and
Yeah, I bet
through
that
that.
was
there's a lot of emotions
up
Absolutely.
and
there
down roller
in that
coaster.
process, but it's also really beautiful.
Yeah. Is there any whenever I'm trying to think of the best way to word this question. Once you got your son, was he yours, or was there any chance or any opportunity for the mom to say, you know what, actually I've rethought this. I know we already have the baby, but can we I don't want this anymore.
Yeah, so it varies state by state.
Okay.
So in Georgia, it was 7 days. I think that's right. There's like a 7-day period where like we had to stay in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
Technically, she could have still changed her mind. And in different states, it's different periods of time.
Okay.
But then the adoption doesn't get actually finalized, like final, and like they changed the last name.
Legally
and,
your child.
Right, like in the courtroom, that sort of thing. Typically until like 6 months later.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so when we matched with Ellis, when we had Ellis, we already had a family trip planned to the beach, like to Turks and Caicos.
Oh.
Like not like 38.
Yeah,
like
not Myrtle Beach.
not Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
With Lindsay's family. And so like we all had passports and everything. Well then like all of a sudden it was like, well now we have a baby.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to go in 2 months to Turks and Caicos, but like here we have this child. He has different skin color than we do, a different last name than we do.
Oh yeah.
He has his birth certificate has a different name on it, whatever. He doesn't have a passport.
Good luck getting that.
How do we get one?
Yeah.
And but it was like a great so anyways, immediately just start like Googling like how do I get a passport? Like, well, how do I get a passport for an adopted child that you haven't actually adopted yet?
Technically, legally yours.
Oh yeah, but what's amazing is, and I know you guys had Freddie O'Connell on.
Yeah.
If you like call your congressman or your representative or whatever, they can get you a passport in like 2 days.
Oh, seriously?
What?
It's like a...
Noted.
We might have to take that out of so we can be the only ones that know that.
Right, yeah.
That's too hot of a dad tip, all right?
It was so fun, just to, like figured out, like, okay, here's what I need to get signed, and here's what I need to call, and get this notarized and whatever, to where ultimately we got to take him.
That's fun.
On the family.
Oh, wow.
We all.
So
not that we would have gone without him.
Yeah.
We got to go.
Yeah.
To Turks and
All right,
Caicos.
you're leaving. All right,
Yeah. So, anyways, but it was on that trip that I wrote "Big Old Day at the Beach,"
Oh, really?
which
That's
is
cool.
now our first actual book.
Nice.
So
What'd you study in college?
marketing,
Okay.
and then I got a finance minor.
Sweet.
Did
Did you do some finance marketing jobs before you started being, I
did.
guess, a children's author? Do you consider yourself a children's author now?
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to put in your episode title, so you better.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I was in finance. I started as a financial advisor, selling insurance and investments right out of college. And then I knew I always wanted to be in the creative music industry space of that. And so 4 or 5 years into that and being on my own there, I partnered with another advisor, we left and started like our own firm. It's called Music Row Wealth Management here on Music Row.
Cool.
And so we did financial planning for like songwriters, artists, people in the creative world.
Yeah.
Super fun, great memories there. And I was there for 5 years before starting the book thing. And so transitioned out of that. And I was just leaning like more and more creative.
Yeah.
Went through COVID, where everybody's kind of like, I'm going to grow my hair out and find my true self again.
Yes.
Definitely did that.
Yeah.
Did a lot of like surf trips and stuff that I was like, I'm not wired to be like full on numbers guy, advisor.
Do you do big old day stuff? Is that your full-time gig now or is it part-time?
It is definitely full time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely full time and not the only thing.
Yeah, I got you.
If that makes sense.
It takes a lot of focus, but it's not your only focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as I've like just learned more about myself or like developed professionally over the years, I realize what my therapist said, which was like, you work really well with things that have like a beginning, middle, end, and very little maintenance. And I was like, oh, yes. That's why, like, after 4 or 5 years somewhere, I kind of like,
I'm good.
Start like looking around, like, meh. So I do big old day and just getting that up and running and learning publishing business and selling the books.
Yeah.
Calling on retailers. Like, it's no different than like selling insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like you got a list of people, you're calling them, you're getting to know people, you're following up with them, that sort of thing. If you want to like actually sell it and grow it. And for me, the fun part of that is like building a brand. And that's what I enjoyed about Music Row and what I enjoy about Big Old Day. And then I started a songwriter festival down in Florida. That's a benefit concert that we just had our 3rd year of that too.
Oh, nice.
So,
are you from Florida?
I wish.
Why did you choose Naples, Florida?
Yeah.
This is called Nash to Naples, right?
That's right. Nash to Naples. My in-laws went there in 2021. So like post-pandemic, everybody's still kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the office, like sort of deal. And we went down there in January, and it's like 75 degrees and sunny and tons of people.
Yeah.
And they all just like show up, and they're super generous people that are like all there looking for fun things to do.
Yeah.
And it's a super walkable city. My in-laws ended up buying a place there. They like fell in love with it. We fell in love with it. And it was like, oh, this would be a great place for a songwriter festival.
Cool.
And it is.
Yeah. And since you helped people with their finances, you had probably some connections in which you actually could figure it out.
Yeah, I had a lot of songwriter friends, and we had been to a bunch of songwriter festivals.
Okay.
As a way to just like connect with people and support.
That would be fantastic to have songwriting festivals. That's a business expense.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta do some more research. I gotta go to Coachella. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Oh yeah. I mean, you can't beat like a songwriter festival, songwriter night. Anytime somebody's like, hey, I'm coming to Nashville, like, what should I do? It's like, don't go to Broadway, go to a songwriter night.
Yep.
Yeah. And you take that experience somewhere else, like Naples or wherever, and they're like, their minds are just blown.
Yeah.
Like, you mean that dude wrote that song?
Yeah.
It's like, and he made a lot of money.
He did.
So yeah, it's been a gift, and it's all for an organization that we're passionate about down in Ecuador that's called the Hacienda of Hope.
Okay.
And it's been a great thing for them to just like to get the word out about what they do, and they don't do a lot of like active fundraising outside of like church support and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you find out about it or that organization?
It's something that Lindsay had been involved with for a long time.
Okay.
And her family, her parents, and so her parents had bought the place down in Naples, and it was like, oh, like we could do this songwriter thing. We could make it a benefit for the hacienda.
Why
this
not?
would be great. And they got fired up about it.
Yeah.
And so then like that next year, so we did it that first year, had 1,000 people show up to the show.
Wow.
It was amazing, and nothing like blew up or anything. You know, like it was good. We raised some money.
No fires.
Then that next year, we brought one of the songwriters down to Ecuador.
Oh, that's really cool.
And she like taught songwriting to the kids and
That's
stuff.
cool.
And it was like, oh, okay, like this is really cool. And then had even more people show up that second year. And this year we raised the game in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And then we got dumped on rain. It doesn't ever rain in January in Naples. It's like why we were like, oh, this would be a great place. Yeah. And so it was like, we feel like we kind of cut our teeth a little bit this year, and like, because we still pulled it off.
Yeah.
But man, we were out
that
there
a
like
mud
raking water off the baseball. We had it
Oh
on
my
a
gosh.
baseball field, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Mudfest.
yeah. It's like, this is what documentaries are made out of.
It is really energizing though whenever you start something and you just start running with the ball basically. And
Oh,
like,
man.
I mean, that's really cool that one of your songwriters went down to Ecuador and connected with that community.
Yeah, and they
It's
get
like, that's
invested
awesome.
in it.
Yes.
Yeah, and it becomes something that they're passionate about.
Yeah.
And that's the whole mission behind it too, is it's people that come to the show that, you know, it's a pretty wealthy population down there.
Yeah.
And so there's opportunity for those people to be like, okay, tell me about the Hacienda of Hope. Like, how can I get more involved
That's pretty cool.
here? And there's several people after this year that are like, hey, we want to go down when y'all go down again next year. And
Yeah.
so that's been awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you bring like if your in-laws have a place down there, do you bring the whole family with you whenever you go down and
We
do
do.
it? Cool.
Yep. Yeah. So we do that, and then with the books and stuff, we'll go down and there's several stores down there that carry the books,
Yeah.
or we'll do different like
Promotional
events
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of like any chance I can get to, any excuse we can get to get down to an ocean
Yes.
somewhere.
You're taking it.
We're probably gonna take it. Yeah.
Where are
yeah.
you originally from?
We're originally from Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
It's only an hour.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Super cool town now.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I know they
it's-
have the Nashville SC has their little like feeder farms like team is down there now. That's the only thing. I
Yeah.
know about
Oh,
it.
really?
Yep. That's right.
Okay.
They do. They do. They've got the
The space program or the space camp or whatever.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. They got all sorts of cool stuff down there too.
Cool.
It's grown a ton, just in the last like 5 years.
Did you grow up going to the beach? Because the beach is still
Yeah.
pretty far away, right?
Yeah, we did. We grew up going to Gulf Shores.
Okay.
Yeah, Orange Beach.
Yeah.
Destin, like that area,
Okay.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
and but I feel like I didn't like really start falling in love with the beach until we were older, and I think part of that is having kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such a easy thing for us. For
yeah, I was
No,
gonna
that's
say,
right.
yeah,
We're
definitely did not happen for me.
I think we both. I know. I'll speak for you, I guess, in some extent. You do gardening stuff. We do gardening stuff.
Yes.
When you go outside with your kids and you watch your kids get lost in the awe of nature,
Oh, man.
I'm like, oh, I did parenting right today.
that's
Yeah.
right. Absolutely.
I did something
Absolutely.
correct today with my child because they looked at honestly how beautiful the world is,
Right.
and how beautifully built
Yeah.
it is,
Right.
and we're in wonder of it.
But
And-
then you also have that when they are screaming and complaining and whining,
Yeah,
you're like,
basically.
oh man, what did
my
I do wrong?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yes.
go to the beach and your kid is like, it's too bright out here, and you're like, well, I can't do anything about that.
Yes.
We went to
Yeah.
Rosemary Beach this past year. that place ain't cheap.
Yeah.
And
It is not.
Stayed inside the entire time because she hated the wind from the beach.
Oh, bless.
Yes. So-
And you're just like, all right. Well, remember all those idealistic romantic moments I thought I was going to
Yeah.
have?
Yeah, exactly.
This is a
Went
really
out the
nice hotel
window.
room.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, those moments are hard, man. When you, especially as a dad, at least my personality, like I can build something up like this is gonna be epic, and it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, because
I'd say most dads have that intuition
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
This is going to be an epic, and then a total.
yeah,
Well,
on the-
that happened. We're more mountains than beach people. And we went once before we had a third kid. And yeah, Magnolia, our middle child, like it was too bright for her. Every single time we went to the sand, like it was just too bright. And so she just screamed the entire time. So I was like, all right, cool. So I guess either me and my wife are going to go hang out with her back at the place while the other one's out here with the older kid jumping in the waves and loving life.
right, right. Yeah,
Like, all right, do we come out at dusk? No, that's like 8 p.m. out here.
yeah,
Crap, how do we do this?
Guess we
Yeah.
stay
I
inside.
guess we do. Or at least 2 of us do.
for sure. Now, the sweetest like primetime beach time is like that sunset
Yeah.
time where you're not worried about sunburn,
Sure.
have to deal with all the sunscreen, all that crap. Like you can just
Yeah.
be out there, they're just running around and you can like just chill and sit and watch the sunset
Yeah.
while they're just like sprinting up and down the coast.
Yeah.
Like I've got so many mental images
That's
and
cool.
actual images of that in my head that I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
So y'all are more mountains people.
More mountains people. Yep.
It's funny because like as I'm talking about the books because we have
Yeah, you have 2. So I mean,
right,
I'm trying
yeah,
to segue you. You
no,
know?
this is a perfect layup because it's so funny.
You're welcome.
Because sometimes people like, you know, I'll say like, oh yeah, we got like big old day at the beach and big old day in the mountains, and they're like, well, we're beach people.
Or beach. people. So you can
It's
leave
like,
the mountain book at home,
I'm
buddy.
pretty sure you can be both.
You can be
Yeah.
You know,
both.
like it's not like Alabama, Auburn, or
No, it's
over
not.
here.
Were you Alabama or Auburn, first of all?
I was Alabama.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but my wife was Auburn.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys just not talk
I am
one Friday
surprised.
out of the year?
I mean, neither one of us like really care.
Yeah, I
that,
figured.
that much.
That was
I did care a lot. She used to care more, but has never.
I think that was my first question I asked Haley on our first date.
Yeah.
Is are you a UK fan or a Louisville fan?
And she said they're both awful programs.
No, because I would not have married her.
You actually went to Kentucky.
I went to
It
Kentucky.
Makes a lot of
Oh,
sense.
nice.
And she had a 270, which is Western Kentucky, and I was like, all right, if she says Louisville,
I got
I gotta move on.
I can't do it.
That's
and she said
hilarious.
Kentucky, and my family likes Kentucky. I was like, all
we're
right,
good.
we're
We're
good.
good. Will you
And
marry
then we
me?
proceeded on with the date.
I love
But
it.
she never lets me down on that. She never lets me live that down.
That you
That's
actually
awesome.
asked her if she was a Kentucky
yeah.
fan or not?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love
But
it.
yeah, I am very surprised you and Auburn and
Alabama.
Auburn and Alabama.
yeah.
House
it's fine.
divided.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, those license plates
They're
for
so ridiculous.
everywhere. House divided.
My wife is from Birmingham.
Yeah.
So she's like, she went to Belmont also.
Yeah.
More of her friends, I feel like, went to Auburn than they did Alabama.
Yep.
So she's like, she's been to Auburn more than she's been to Tuscaloosa.
Right.
So she's like, I guess Auburn.
I mean, I would choose. Again, like, be careful what I say.
I know, yeah.
But,
yeah.
like-
this is how you get canceled. Just saying.
But I mean, most of my friends went to Auburn.
Oh, really?
Over Alabama.
Okay.
Most of Lindsay's friends went to Auburn. Like, I think, at least when we were growing up, it was like Auburn seemed like a this more popular choice of
Yeah.
like where to actually go to school.
Who knows?
So did you know Lindsay from your neighborhood or from Huntsville?
No, we grew up in different circles, like different churches,
that's
different
fun.
schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Met at church camp up here at Lipscomb the summer before I graduated. The summer before I came to Lipscomb as a freshman.
Yeah.
So like I just graduated. We met. She was going into her senior year back in Huntsville, and she had a boyfriend at the time.
Oh.
But like any classic, like, you know, late 2000s.
Yes.
What was that? It's like 2008.
Yeah.
So I was creeping on her on Facebook, and then once her status changed to single, messaged her like that summer.
Yeah.
And was like, "Can we go on a date?" And so we went on our first date the night before I left for college.
Oh, cool.
The next day. And I remember it was like 10:15, 10:30 at night, and she was like, "You should probably like go home and hang out with your mom before you leave for college."
Oh, yeah,
Then,
yeah.
You know, tomorrow.
Go
And
connect with your family.
I was like, "You're really smart.
You're really good.
like
You seem really good for me.
should probably marry you." But yeah, so then we
That's
did.
awesome.
And then I came into Lipscomb, kind of looked around, Quest Week, you know, freshman
yeah.
orientation. I was like, I think I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call Lindsay. Like,
That's
when I
awesome.
get back to the dorm, and rest is
Here
history.
you are now.
Dated all through college.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Did she go to Lipscomb also?
She did.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
great, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your books at least
Yeah.
a little bit, you know? So tell us how did you, I mean, you already said you're on vacation and that's how you came up with the idea for a big old day at the beach. Tell us more about your books.
Yeah. So I wrote Big Old Day at the Beach as a song, just as like a fun, because I've always written and musical, whatever, and wrote it on that first beach trip. And then years passed, and I think that just that creative itch that I was feeling, I was like, oh, well, I'll take Big Old Day at the Beach and like maybe turn it into a kid's book, because we loved going to the beach with the kids. And I was like, even if I only make like a couple copies,
It's still fun.
It'll still be fun.
Yeah.
One of our best friends did. I knew she was an artist, and she lives down in Florida. And I asked her, I was like, "Hey, like, would you want to illustrate this book and like do this project?" She was
awesome.
like, "Oh yeah, like that's what I really like. What I want to do. Like, let's do it." And so for probably a year, we were just like trying to figure out like what's what. We had some other directions that we were going, and trying to figure out this thing.
But you had like the song written down. You knew you knew the words of the book would be the song, and you had an artist to help make the visualizations with it.
Yeah. But at first, it was going to be this like puzzle book thing, where it was like every page could live on its own, but also it could maybe come together. And then we reached this point. It was like, hey,
we're a little too
That's
adventurous.
not
a-
let's just make a book. And so then it was like, but obviously it's a song. So, anyways, sorry. So what happened when I transitioned out of the financial world, it was like, oh, well now like I've got this opportunity to do something else. What would it look like if we actually like made this and tried to sell the book?
Yeah.
And so I started learning more about that process, and I learned like, well, there's not much money in kids' books.
Okay.
If you want to like grow something, you really need to do like a series of it. And like really you need to do like build like a brand around it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it can kind of be ultimately it's like a IP play type thing.
Then you can add on to like merch and have like shirts and T-shirts and stuff like
exactly.
that. They're all centered around.
Then maybe Netflix will come in and they'll turn it into a show. I mean, it can go a bunch of different directions.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, oh, like, okay, like I can.
Your marketing brain started
working.
Yeah,
your marketing brain, market branding, and like building something that will last 50 years is a total different mindset than like.
I don't know. I wrote a book.
I sold a, I wrote a kid's book. So started that process, and then, and that gave us a lot more clarity on like, the visuals, and we worked with a branding agency, not Joe, but he would have been great too.
But you got a style.
Yeah, we got a style and a feel and a brand, and then that first one, we learned so much. We, man, it was like every time Olivia, the illustrator, would finish a page, it was like, oh, you like, yes.
I mean, they look beautiful. Just looking at the
oh yeah, she's
book covers.
She's an amazing artist. And so yeah, we got that first one done. Came out in June. I had gone into the studio and recorded the songs. Yeah. So that was super fun. Like,
how many
get back
songs
into
do
that.
you do per book? Do you do just like one
It's
song?
just one.
Okay. Do you do an instrumental track also with it?
No, but I should.
That's
I mean, that would be an easy, like, I'll call Dave tonight and be like, hey.
Hey, he's taking vocals off
It's
that.
like karaoke version.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I got some karaoke bars in Nashville that really want Big Old Day of the Beach.
Hey, I'm going to request it at Santa's Pub next time.
Yes,
I'm there.
please. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so the first one took a while, but we learned a ton.
Yeah.
We get them printed overseas, and so like that moment when the first box of them came in, like I didn't go to China to like review the proof, like, and I had some experiences with some other stuff that we had ordered from over there that you open it up and it's like, this is not quite the same shade of blue.
This is what I paid for?
Right.
Yeah.
But they looked amazing, which was such like a sigh of relief.
How many prints have you done of the books? Have you done just one so far?
You mean like how many order?
Yeah.
Like how many runs?
Yeah.
That's a good question. So we started out with like 300 beach books.
Yeah.
And then we ordered 300 more.
I'm assuming because you sold the first 300.
Yes. Yes. And then we have an order of 1,000 that's coming.
Awesome, man.
That is awesome.
And then same with the mountains.
So you're technically on your third edition, right? I think with that
I
being
guess
tracked.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you did everything from start to finish.
Yeah. Which like,
yeah,
I mean, it's a total learning experience.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Because
binding, understanding like just how a book is laid out.
Page weight matters. All this stuff matters.
Yeah. The orientation of it, the printing
Pros and cons
process, the type of paper.
that is exactly what my wife does for Thomas Nelson.
Oh, nice.
She is an art director, so she does the book layouts, the pages, what the page texture is. If it has that silver or gold lining around the ends of the page, it's insane. So for you to be able to do all of that, which is basically a creative director.
It's your wife's whole job.
Yeah. And write the book. That's impressive, man.
I've learned a ton. And I knew going into this, like even if, it doesn't become a like New York Times bestseller or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn a ton. And I've seen that, and it's always fun to connect with other writers, authors, people that want to do that. Mm-hmm. And I built our website, and which is something that I'd never done before, and just learning a lot about production and.
Is it technically like self-published?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it is. But I always say like and I think you have to be this way. And other authors that like I know and have gotten to know, it's like you really have to treat yourself like you're running a publishing business, not like an author business.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Like understanding production timelines and when stores are buying.
Oh, sure.
For
business cycles, basically.
Yeah, business cycles. That's the word.
Yeah.
And so and the second book when we started doing the mountains, it was like with the beach one, it was like every little update was like surprise, like it's amazing. With the mountains one, Olivia was like cranking out the illustrations, and I was kind of just in like beach world, like trying to sell that one. And she was like, "Hey, here's this." It was like great, great.
Yeah.
And that one like flew. The process was so much quicker.
Yeah.
And got it out in November.
So you did 2 books in 1 year after doing 0 books for quite a few years.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, we're really proud.
Yeah.
and are doing the third now.
Are you? Can we ask what the subject matter is?
Yeah, it's a big old day at the zoo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So hopefully, like late spring, early summer.
Yeah.
Late summer.
Okay. When we're all going to be at the zoo.
When we're all going to be at the zoo,
Yeah.
zoo camp.
Heck
That's
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, and it'll be fun. I think because Olivia is so great at drawing animals, like she gets so detailed.
Yeah.
And she does
looking at
everything
the
with
turtle.
those
That's
sea
impressive.
turtles. She does everything in colored pencil,
Cool.
pretty much like by hand. And between that and the song, which I've already written, and
Do you do the same melody and everything, just change the lyrics?
uh,
I haven't listened to your
Pretty
music that much. I'm
much.
sorry. I know. I didn't do enough research on you. I'm sorry,
come
man.
on, I'm just kidding. I'll sing them both for you a
Thank
cappella.
you.
Do it.
That's what we're here. I have a ukulele in the car. Hold
Yeah,
on.
oh yeah, I probably do.
Yeah, probably. They're small.
Yeah, exactly. The beach one is, it's ukulele and same melody, same melody
Yeah.
as the mountains, but
A little different.
what's the word? I mean, just a different vibe,
I got you. Yeah.
different beat,
Yeah.
different.
I don't know how much, whenever you make a new book, for the song, how much you're going back to like the beginning, or if you've kind of got your, like skeleton.
Yeah, I mean
there.
the skeleton is there.
Okay, cool.
Right, and like
Gotcha.
the song, so like the song structure is
Yeah.
there, which is kind of the meaning behind the whole thing is like, hey, like what happens a lot is kids or parents will text me and be like, my son just wrote like big old day at Marco's Pizza.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
One of our like sweet friends
That's awesome.
just did that and came to Parnassus last week and like had his big old day at Marco's like written out.
That's
and
really
he was like,
cool.
I'm ready to play it
Was-
for you.
Was that
Yeah, that was at Parnassus.
okay?
Yeah. For the listeners, he has the Instagram
Yes.
pulled up. Yeah. I mean that was a sweet day at
So
Parnassus.
where
for
is
sure.
Parnassus at?
Where,
Sorry,
Green Hills.
Green Hills.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like a Nashville staple for sure.
It's next to Donut Den.
Next,
Like it's that complex.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Patchett, it's fine. We can do a full
Yeah.
deep dive into
I do not
Parnassus.
go into the Green Hills area ever.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like
I try-
Nashville's only independent, one of their only independent bookstores.
Cool.
They
Okay.
do a lot of really cool stuff over there.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Did you have a big old day at Parnassus? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that?
I mean, you can, right? Because like that's the deal. So it's like
It is
you
smart.
just
It is
you
smart.
you plug and play.
Yeah.
So like you just gotta. I did write a little. I did a little like Instagram thing of like, just singing a little like big old day at Parnassus.
That's fun.
Won't you come sing along with us? Something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just that same structure, which I think just helps kids like understand it
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
why they can write big old day at the pool
Yeah.
or at Marco's.
Yep. I mean, you can pretty much plug anything in there. Big old day in the city, big old day in the museum.
Yeah.
There's tons of places
Yeah.
you can take it. So
Yeah.
that's really exciting. For you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. So it'll be fun. So
You're gonna be the next Goosebumps man.
oh, I'm in.
Whoa. I would say Mercer Mayer more than Goosebumps.
Oh, Mercer Mayer,
The little critter guy.
classic.
A little.
What?
I know who you're talking about.
Are you
I know who you're
talking
talking about,
about?
but that's throwing it back.
Yeah, man, that's straight up like 90s golden books. Like,
Yes. Oh yeah.
all right, someone else is gonna listen to this and be like, "Yeah, I'm on Devin's side, not Justin's."
I am
very
sorry. I
confused
did
side.
Right.
not know what you're talking about. I was
No, that-
Goosebumps and Hardy Boys. Those,
Okay.
Like my mom had like a huge collection of the old Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
So me and my friend would.
Okay,
I
so you don't
never.
remember like the little critter guy?
I vaguely remember, but I am not one.
You are
that-
like 4 years older than me, so that's probably
Yes.
the difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be 40 this year. So yeah.
Mercer Mayer. Thank you for getting my
Yeah.
children's book reference.
Okay.
I got it. I had to dig, but I got it.
Because he goes everywhere. It's like,
Right.
I just made
All
a
right, well,
mess. I
what-
just don't want to go to bed.
What
I
age
Yeah.
live
is
in the
this?
city. Oh, it's like kindergartners. You know,
okay.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little,
So
it's at your reading level.
It's just above.
Too advanced.
Pre-K, okay?
Sorry, that was dangling there. I had to make sure to take
Hey,
that.
man, it is okay. Take it when you can.
Yes, but yeah, Mercer Mayer. I feel like that was like the type of book you go grocery shopping with your parents, and your parents would be like, "All right, I only had to tell you to stop doing that 2 or 3 times, so you can have the $2 Mercer Mayer book off the shelf. Here you go."
All right.
So,
Absolutely.
there you go. We'll just discuss children's books for the rest of the
I'll
time.
have to look
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah. It's great.
Did
Yeah.
you? What was your favorite children's book growing up? Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question.
And that can be any range. It can be like chapter books. It can be books similar to yours where they're a little bit shorter, you know.
Right. I would probably say Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
I mean, again, like I just love the cadence of his, like, we still love reading, Walking in My Pocket.
Yeah.
I could like repeat some of those books, Green Eggs and Ham, even just like some of those classic Dr. Seuss books. I was really into Scooby Doo, but I was always like
There you
watching the
go.
show,
Yep.
A little different. Yeah.
not the books.
Yes, I agree.
I probably should have done more reading when I was little.
I mean,
Yep.
Maybe I would
not.
listen to more podcasts today if I had done more reading when I was little.
maybe. Who knows? I think I read a bunch of Calvin and Hobbes and like Peanuts whenever I was a kid. That was
Yep.
a lot of my childhood.
Yep.
Hence the constant sarcasm and talking back.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. It's funny because I'm not a reader.
Okay.
More of a writer, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So anytime that comes up, like Lindsay, ultimate reader, read like whatever 60 books last year or so, something crazy. And I'm like, what? How?
Audiobooks. That's how I do it.
That's how she
Yeah.
does it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the
And-
only way I can.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. I'll read one book. I'll read a book and be like, I'll tell the world about it because it's like
Because you did it.
Because I did
Yeah.
it.
You did it.
And I'm like, have you ever read something
Yeah,
before?
it took me like a week. You're like, it took me 6 months.
Right. Yeah.
You should do the audiobook for those 2 books, man.
Well, I guess I feel like I have.
You already have with
in
your
the
song.
Well, yeah. Put it out there
Okay, so
on,
here's what
on
you
the
need to do.
audio.
Maybe we can do like a real dramatic
No,
version
yeah.
of it.
Here's the solution for you.
Okay, hit
Message
me.
your engineer, producer, friend,
Yes.
and have him do where he takes out the vocals so you have your instrumental track.
Right.
And you do one where he just takes out the instrumental so you have your vocal track. Boom. There you
There
go.
you
There you go.
There you go.
Yes. Yes.
Where'd you record
I
at?
love it.
Did you just record like at your friend's house or something?
Well, I mean, he is a friend, but he's more of a like a producer that I knew. His name is Dave Spencer.
Okay.
He's had a great few years. I mean, he's been doing it for 12, 15 years, however long, but I feel like has really like
Hit a stride.
hit a stride in the last few years with some big hits in the Christian space. And it's like Christian and like K-pop.
What?
And then he squeezed
right.
me in there. We haven't won any awards yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
But no, I mean, amazing dude. Super talented. So
Had you ever been in a recording studio before or like recorded your own vocals?
yeah, I played music all growing up
Okay.
and played music in high school and college and stuff. And so I'd done it before, but it had been a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd probably been 10 years
Yeah.
since I had done it. And I know so much more now. And it's like when you're doing a kids project, I think back when I was doing that early stuff, I was like, I don't want to mess up. Okay, tell me what to do. Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Producer man that I'm paying you. Like,
Yeah.
Whereas when we were recording this stuff, it was like, hey, like, does this sound cool? Like just grab random stuff and
definitely.
like, hey, can we give it a little bit of this, a little bit of that? And just like so fun to be creative. And then, Dave be like, oh, yeah,
That worked. That didn't.
Yeah, that works. That didn't. Let me, dig into this like library of ocean sounds and let's play around with it, which one sounds best.
Well, versus like, whenever like if I remember starting at Belmont and people would be like, do you play guitar? And I'm like, yes, but are you hoping we write a hit song that makes us rich? Because that's a very different vibe for us to jam together.
Yeah.
Than just like, I don't know, is this a chord? Let's just do this. Let's see what happens here. So
exactly.
Very different energies. I'm with you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But it's been so fun to do kids music.
Yeah.
That's, hopefully in that vein of kids music that parents enjoy. It's not.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
It's really easy to make annoying kids music.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. There's enough baby sharks.
Do you now have strong opinions on kids music? Like now that you've actually made a kids song or two, do you view kids music differently?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think like any good songwriter does, like you can find good and bad and in each song. If it's a song, like a song like Baby Shark or whatever, that's like, okay, there's clearly like genius in there.
Yeah.
Where is it? In the simplicity, in the repetition, like whatever. The same things that can make it annoying as anything.
Yeah.
Are also like why it works.
Kind of impressive. Yeah.
And, same thing with podcast or YouTube videos. Like the other day, some people were like, hey, I used to do like YouTube videos, like, like Blippy, like that dude's a, bajillionaire now, whatever. And like, I'll go and like, I'll watch some Blippy videos and like, see if I can like figure it out. And I'm like, whoa, like how does he talk like that? Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
all
like
the
just
time.
like Miss Rachel.
Miss Rachel, I watched a couple of her videos the other day.
She has. I mean, I don't think she talks like that at all.
Like that's not her normal voice.
I don't know what I
hope not.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard her talk in any other type of voice though.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that's got to be exhausting.
I think it'd be more exhausting to play a character that much.
Yeah.
Like, how do you keep yourself? Like, because if a child sees Miss Rachel in public, they're going to be like, oh, that's Miss Rachel. If she doesn't talk like Miss Rachel, she's going to ruin a kid's day.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So
you're
you've
right.
gotta be prepared to be in character at any point in time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, you watch like a YouTube video and you're like, all right, Blippy, I feel like I could do this a little bit better. Is that ego or is that reality?
Right.
Which one is this?
Well, and
A little
that's
bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, there's truth to that. It's just like with you guys, like starting the podcast. Like it's easy for people to be like, give you some ideas on like, hey, like y'all could do this, or like, why don't you try this or whatever.
Yeah, why
it's
aren't your
like,
episodes shorter?
yeah, it's like, well, why don't you just do your own podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Or
You do you, we'll do us.
yeah. I think anytime somebody else sees somebody that's like created the thing, it's like just go create the thing.
Yeah.
Like
now, hopefully, it can be done. So
yeah,
go do it.
exactly. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Justin,
good.
before we start to fall asleep, should we start wrapping up
Wake
the episode?
up.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Carter,
Hit me.
how we end all of our episodes is we ask the same 5 questions. And you would think by now we'd have these questions memorized. But we don't.
I have no memory.
Oh
I
my
have zero
gosh.
memory.
I love
have
it.
to write it down.
So-
all right. First question: what were your kids' backup names?
Meaning,
If you had any kids' backup names.
what did you almost name your kids? What were
Yes.
the other options?
If you didn't have any,
If
that's
you didn't
cool.
have any, you didn't have any. But your wife will message us the answer.
Yeah.
I mean, with Ellis, we knew we had this moment where we were trying to decide if, when you go through the adoption process, you can say like boy or girl, and like you can be specific on certain things or health related things or whatever. We felt the nudge to be specific on a boy, but we hadn't actually like checked the boxes yet, and we had this moment of just the like we believe like this the Lord being like you're supposed to be specific on a boy, and I had read this verse that was like talking about Elijah and how he prayed for rain and it rained, and he prayed for it not to, and it didn't for like 3 years or something like that, and came home that day to do the home study, like last meeting with Lindsay, and I was like, babe, I think we're supposed to be specific, and I think we're supposed to say a boy, and she was like, I do too.
Cool.
And like I had a name, and I was like, I have a name, and she was like, well, I was like, what was your name? She was like, it was Ellis, and I was like, mine was Elijah. Anyways, or maybe I said mine's Elijah. She was like, oh yeah, mine's Ellis, which is short for Elijah.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it was like, well, okay, that's what we're gonna do.
That's cool.
And that's what we did. So I don't remember. I don't think we had a backup.
That's,
Cool. That's a cool
valid.
story.
You know, what about for your daughter?
Yeah, for Essie Tate.
First of all, how do you pronounce her name again?
Yeah, it's Essie,
Yeah.
which is short for Esther
Okay.
Tate.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't remember.
You just
we,
went.
I mean, we were in like 1-year-old brain.
That's right. You just opened up the Bible and you said, Ruth sounds too old.
That's right.
Let's go with Esther. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we definitely almost call, or we're gonna like make Tate her first name. I think maybe, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Next question: who's your favorite TV dad?
Oh man, I grew up watching Andy Griffith,
Okay, yeah,
and
That's a good one.
he's a
I
solid.
feel like
TV dad.
I feel like here's a hot take.
Yeah, take this question wherever you want it.
Sorry, there's some similarities between Andy Griffith and Bandit from
Okay.
Bluey,
Yeah,
the dad, Bluey
Yeah.
dad.
yeah,
Like the way that they watch their child have like some major meltdown or breakdown or like trying to get away with something, and they can, instead of just being like don't do that, they can like create this story or like experience for them to teach themselves the lesson as opposed to just telling them the answer.
yeah.
It's like, dang, like that
Made
dude's a
me
genius.
Think of the episode where Bluey's trying to learn how to ride a bike, and as opposed to her, just being like, get back on the bike, try again. He shows all the examples of all the other kids at the playground of all their failure and their perseverance at the same time.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah.
So Andy Griffith and Bandit. Like if I can just mix those two, I'll be doing pretty good.
Legit.
Good answer. All right. Least favorite kids show or movie? One that just your kid
Just
watches over
irks.
and over and over again.
I think I've just gotten so into Bluey that now like pretty much anything on Netflix, I'm like
I'm good.
we have a new rule as of like this last week, which is if there's we have a playroom, we have a downstairs, and like if y'all are watching something on the downstairs, because sometimes the playroom remote gets lost in the mess.
The chaos of it all.
Yeah, it's like if you're watching something down here, it's got to be Bluey.
Okay.
If it's on Netflix, they all just kind of seem the same, and they're all just like loud and
Yeah. Very stimulating.
Yeah.
very stimulating. I'm like I can't
Yeah.
do that.
I feel like some of them actually change your daughter or son's just temperament.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And depending on which one, you're like, never again are you watching that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like we try to stay away from most YouTube content because one, you start to type it in and you're like, Miss Rachel, and you put in MS and you're like, oh God, what just appeared on the screen? What just appeared? Like,
Totally.
and you're like, how did that? And then like,
Yeah.
you never know what video it jumps to next. Like, I think
Yeah.
Cosmic Kids Yoga is the only YouTube content we do for our kids.
Oh,
And that's about
nice.
it.
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
heard you talk about that, but I need to check into it again.
You need to do more Cosmic Kids Yoga
Yep.
for yourself,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
for.
Exactly. Amen.
I love it.
Next question. Favorite kids toy? Like when your kids play with it, you actually enjoy playing with it also.
Hot Wheels, For sure. I
think that's the first time we've heard that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
We get
That's
a lot
a great
of Legos.
answer. Yeah,
Legos is the most
Legos.
common answer.
Yeah.
But Hot Wheels, that's a great one.
Yeah. I grew up a Hot Wheels kid. And
Okay.
so building tracks and
Mm-hmm.
Ellis loves making slow-mo video. Like, he'll get my phone and, like, make
That's
some
really cool.
slow-mo videos. And so
Something we didn't have back then, man.
Yeah, we weren't doing that.
No, not so much.
That sounds so much fun.
They look sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, that's a good shot. You know, I'm like, teach
I
him the
can only
lingo.
You're like, Colton, let me move the shade a little bit. Your lighting is off.
That's
just a
right.
little bit."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What moment of your kid's life are you most excited to be a part of? You can have one for each kid. Or just one in general.
I mean, the answer that comes to mind is like just tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, just like I think realizing as they're 7 and 6, like how they're still little. They're still little, yet they're like so much bigger than they were when they were 3 and 4 or whatever, which seems like yesterday. It's like, okay, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Like just, you know.
It flies.
Yeah.
It really flies.
Yeah. Like, you know, that's true. You know, everybody says it. You say it. And I'm like, okay, it's not too late yet.
Yeah.
You know, like just trying to be more present.
Yeah.
And I think of the movie Click every time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, here's normally the opportunity where, like, to promote yourself. Like, how do we find you on Instagram? Like, if we wanted to buy your book, do we have to go to a bookstore? Can we order it online? Take the full self-promotion
Yes.
moment, you know?
Well, I will throw this out there.
Yes.
I'm not sure when the episode is coming out, but
I'll tell you later.
yeah. The books just recently got picked up by the REI in Brentwood.
Yeah.
Which we're super excited
That's
about.
so cool.
I'll
go there
obviously
tomorrow.
love the like local bookstores and gift shops and places like that we're here or that we're in around town, and definitely like can go buy the Big Old Day books there. But would love, if you're listening, go buy REI in Brentwood and check out. There's not much of a book section there, and I think it'll be a fun thing to have the books there, and then hopefully maybe they get picked up in other stores.
Get more scope. Get more people out there reading it.
Get across Tennessee and get across the country, and REI would be
pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
That would be amazing.
It'd be a really cool
It'd be
opportunity.
like our Shark Tank moment.
That's right. Yes.
You know.
Dude,
So,
just getting your foot in that door for the Brentwood one is huge.
We're excited.
It's all a process. You learn, okay, who's the gatekeeper? Who do I need to talk to? How do I get this done? And hopefully you can build on it from there.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're on Instagram at Big Old Day Studios, which is like OLE is OLE.
Yeah.
I like the graphic too.
Thanks. So,
cool.
Big Old Day Studios. Love to connect with you there.
What?
And then bigolday.com.
Okay, cool.
Too. You can buy the books there as well, and we got some other like T-shirts and fun stuff
Some
on
other
there.
merch.
Other merch,
Nice.
baby.
And so for local bookstores, though, you're like Parnassus. Are you? What's the one? The Get Up? Is that it?
The Get Along.
Get Along.
Yeah, Parnassus. The Get Along. Bound Booksellers in West Haven.
Yeah.
We're doing an event there coming up, and then the Green Room in Franklin. A sweet little shop there.
But it seems like you're getting pretty much all over town. You're doing readings. You're doing singings.
Yeah.
You're out and about just hoping
Yes, for
connect.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
So, sweet.
It's fun.
Well, Carter, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Carter.
you guys for the
Appreciate
hang.
ya.
Thanks,
It's
man.
been fun.
Thanks again for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Nashville Dads and to subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify podcast. We record at New Light Podcast Studio, and episodes are produced by me, Devin.